Welcome to this heart-to-heart conversation, a portal into your freedom, your creative power, and your presence. Together, we remember how to create consciously, live in harmony with the earth, and restore the sacred balance of life. So welcome everyone, welcome back to another heart-to-heart conversation, where we open a sacred space to explore what it truly means to live as your whole, multidimensional self. Today, we're exploring one of the most essential and tender aspects of our journey, following the wisdom of your heart. Not as a romantic ideal, but as a courageous, embodied path of truth, healing, and realignment with your soul's deepest knowing. I'm Victoria Hart, and this is part of our very special series, Awaken Your Multidimensional Self, the Dawning of a New Light, a space where we remember who we are beyond fear, programming, and performance, and we reconnect with the light of our true essence. Joining me is Kim van de Sande, who has many strings to her bow as a sacred teacher, embodiment mentor, cosmic channel, and two-time international best-selling author. Kim, I'm really delighted to welcome you into this space, and particularly as I feel our conversation feels very much needed at this time.
Thank you. I'm really grateful to be here and share another sacred conversation with you and everyone joining us live and through the recording. So thank you for creating this space, because it's really, it's time that we share these deeper codes of how to really honor this beautiful life we're on. So yes.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Well, let's start, Kim, with your upcoming book. It's called Rooted in Love, which is also the title of our conversation today. And it's a powerful title, especially I feel for these times. So, what does being rooted in love mean to you as a lived, embodied experience?
For me, it's really what I notice in my own journey is sometimes we think, okay, when I step into this space of loving myself, I need to always be happy and I need to always be in this high vibrational space, or it's only elevating into higher realms of our being. And what I noticed in myself as I started to love myself more, as I started to accept myself more, as I started to embody more love, deeper wounded parts of myself came to the surface. But it was not because, and it took me a while, let's be honest, this is a journey of years I'm sharing with you. It's not a one-time quick fix. But what I noticed in my own journey is as I started to love myself more, these walls dissolved. And suddenly the parts that before felt unsafe, they felt safe again. So it's almost like the deeper wounded aspects of my being finally felt safe enough to be seen, to be heard. And it's so important to understand, like, we have this beautiful vessel and we have our field and we have all these experiences in our back pocket, and we can look at them through, like, also for me there are a lot of these voices where you start to judge yourself, where you start to put on the limitations or a lot of fear also projected from society and all of that. But we all put that in our backpack. And I also know in my life when we sometimes try to rush through, or we find, okay, this is inconvenient, I'm not ready to feel this. But what love really asked me to do was to sit and to really witness these deeper parts of myself, because through that I stopped the inner sabotaging. Through that I stopped taking one step forward and moving three steps back, because we don't really go to the root of what is there. So rooted in love, it has two sides. It's one is, okay, are we ready to really go to the root? My first book was Activating the Flower of Love, and it's going into our inner garden. But change only happens when we take out all the roots of the weeds that are there. And before I know this journey oh so well, I took out the surface level things and I felt, okay, now I'm feeling good again and I'm ready. But somehow certain patterns kept coming back. And so love really invited me to go deeper. But what I also notice, and that's the other side of rooted in love, when we are truly centered, when we are truly connected to who we are, when we are truly connected to love, then we can handle whatever comes on our path. We have the resilience, we can move with life, and we can just say yes to whatever happens because we can't, we like stop resisting life. That's what Rooted in Love also invites us to do. And I share, sorry, I'm just enthusiastic always about what I share. So sometimes there's a lot of things coming. It's like a transmission. Just receive and feel in your cells, in your body, what is happening and what resonates with you, because that's also important. But just allow life to guide you. And I think love also does that. So when we're rooted in love, we can truly see the deeper wisdom awakening within ourselves. And I think it's beautiful to go deeper into that later. But yeah, rooted in
Mm.
love, it has so many dimensions.
I love everything that you've shared, because it's so, and the first point you made is, when stuff comes up that, feels uncomfortable, our instant reaction normally is, oh, I don't want to feel this. I want to stuff it back down. And of course, that is why they keep showing up and keep showing up to get our attention. And so being able to then get to the root cause and then, and find that's when we really allow love to blossom through. So thank you so much for sharing that. And so let's talk about, we hear follow the wisdom of your heart. We hear follow your heart all the time. And I think what you just shared now really speaks to needing the courage
Mm.
to do that. And so why do you feel that courage is a key part of this journey?
I think following the wisdom of your heart is one of the bravest thing we can ever do, because our soul is here to experience. Our soul is here to expand, to grow, and growth is asking of us to step out of our comfort zone. So the true wisdom of our heart is inviting us most of the time to heal a deeper part of ourselves, but also to step into a greater version of ourselves through the healing. It is inviting us to step into something we have not experienced yet before. And that's why so many of us find it so difficult to truly follow the guidance of our heart. Because we hear like we ask for signs, but when we then receive the sign, or we truly feel like, because this wisdom of our heart, also in my own journey, most of the time it's something we deeply feel, but we're not yet ready. We know this is our next step, but there are so many things. Maybe it's not like, maybe it's inconvenient in your life, or you feel like, okay, I'm not ready for this, or it's no time, or there's so many things on our that we can think and hold ourselves back, because this following the wisdoms of our heart is truly inviting us to expand. And
Yeah,
expansion happens in cycles, growth, creation, everything we do. Also with my new book, it happens in cycles. We receive the inspiration, and that's exciting. But then growth is invited. And it's almost like, okay, when you suddenly feel this sacred yes, a new invitation comes, or something exciting is coming on your path, and you're feeling like, yes, this is for me. But then the mind kicks in,
right.
and the old limitations and the old, and are you then still brave enough to keep following what your heart knows? And most of the time, especially as we're in this phase of evolution, what our heart is guiding us is something new. We are pioneering a new earth, and there is no example. Our heart is leading us into something we have not created before, for ourselves, but also for society, also for the evolution in consciousness. So yes, that is scary, because before maybe you could feel like, okay, I have an example, so I know what to do. But that is not is what is being guided from us. That is still something from the mind. We are really being invited now in this time and space. And that's why this rooted in love is needed, because we need this centeredness, this connection, this support from ourselves. But when we do that, we can follow this guidance that is moving us into new territory, because we are being invited to navigate on very subtle energies in our being. It's no longer the big lines and the great gestures. No, the change that is invited of us right now is in the very subtle layers of our body, of our emotions, of what we're creating into the world, of what we're embodying in every moment. It's not like change happens when we're in meditation. No, to be that change, even in the most challenging environments where we live in. And it can be as well, sometimes for me, I'm a young mom, so a schoolyard is quite an interesting energy. But can you hold your center there? Can you really bring the energy of love in everything that happens, in everything that challenges you, in every, and I think that's the invitation. And that's also the braveness of the path of the heart. Because when you're called into that, you're a pioneer.
Yeah.
You're not following the mainstream. No, again, there's a deeper thing that wants to come out of you, that wants to be birthed through you. but are you ready to listen to something that you have not seen before? Or, yeah, so it's really a
That's
beautiful.
true. And as you're sharing, I'm just thinking because I was guided to start this series towards the end of last year. And I was being told, well, I've done a couple before and they were always
Mm,
pre-records. And this one I was being guided, we're going to do live and we're going to invite people to join us into this conversation. And of course, at first I was like, I can't do that.
yeah.
And the nudgings kept coming. So it's like, okay, I guess this is what I'm doing. And actually, in reflection to what you shared, as soon as you follow the heart's guidance, everything just flows. And it did, everything unfolded for me with ease because we're on the right track and we're listening to the heart and following it. And often, when things don't work out so well, it's because we're not listening to what we're being guided to do.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know a little bit more, and you touched on this. What does the heart really know then that the mind just doesn't understand?
Well, and again, I think that's the subtle invitation we're being invited into. It's this subtle feeling in our body, in our just an invitation to everyone tuning in with everything that comes on your path. Really, for a moment, even if it's just for a second, go within and feel like, okay, how does this feel in my body, in my heart? What is the deeper invitation? Because what I notice as well as we're growing, as you receive this inspiration for this series as well, and for me for my book, first there's the excitement, and then there is the creation. But in the creation, also deeper layers of myself that have kept me from moving into that space before showed up. But
Mm.
how can I distinguish, like, okay, this is a limiting belief, or this is, I think that's sometimes a difficult part. This is not part of my plan. And
Yeah, yeah.
the
How do
invitation of
you
the
know if
heart.
it's a fear or your logical mind trying to be realistic?
Yes. And I think a big invitation is there to go to back to our bodies,
Yeah.
because over years we have so many of us have learned, okay, the solution is out there and we need to reach higher vibrations and we need to, like, almost in a way give our authority to something out there, but we are being invited to bring that authority back into our body. This vessel, this is sacred magic. Like, your body, your emotions, every part of you, it holds so much wisdom and it
Mm.
holds so much guidance. But are we truly willing to listen? And I think that's the deeper part. You know when a message comes from the mind or when a message comes from the heart, and the more you allow yourself to follow that guidance, the more beautiful things will unfold and the more easy it will be. But it's almost like as a baby, we knew the language of our beautiful vessel, but we disconnected through society, through school, through all kind of things. And now we are being invited to relearn that language again and to really, and I think that's sometimes the most difficult part in following the guidance of your heart, because it's almost like a language that most of us have disconnected from, and we're being invited to reconnect with that part. But
Mm.
the mind most of the time wants statistics or wants proof or wants something that is yeah, like, also controlled. And the heart just wants experiences. It doesn't put any limits on it, or, and that's sometimes the difficult part for being in this human vessel at this time. It doesn't put time frames on it. Because I
Mm.
also noticed in my own journey, sometimes I felt something was so aligned and my mind wanted to manifest it within a month or a year, and it took 5 years. Well, okay. But can we truly stay? I think that's the biggest invitation in following our heart. Can you truly hold the light? Even though the manifestation doesn't go as quickly as you want, or even though the physical proof isn't here instantly, but can you then still know, okay, this is my path, and each and every day I'm choosing to be the greater version of myself so that whatever is aligned will come. Can you, because I think also following the path of our heart is truly, can I trust and surrender? Can I
Mm.
truly say yes to life? Show me. I'm ready. I'm open. I'm willing. Show me my path. Show me what I need to witness with love, what I need to heal, what I need to elevate. Show me. Can I hold space? Yeah.
Well, and as you were sharing, often we don't take those steps forward because our mind is looking for the proof that it's going to be okay, that, oh, if I do this, the outcome's going to be work out for me.
Yeah.
And often, that holds us back. And so then we don't get that proof, and we're met, that will probably bring up an old limiting belief, because then we'll say to ourselves, well, it didn't work out then. And it's, we haven't even allowed ourselves to take that step, and part of life really is embracing the mystery,
Yes.
because otherwise, it's kind of, people always want a sign, is it going to be okay? But where's the adventure? Where's the mystery in that if we're not really open to just letting it unfold naturally, and seeing, what greater plan is in store for us, one that, our mind couldn't conceive of, because of course it lives within the heart space. And so,
And the pioneering part as well, I believe, because we're truly creating something we have not created before.
right.
So there is no example, but can you navigate? Like, I think what I loved in what you shared as well is like we're being invited to navigate from a totally different way of being. No
Mm,
longer rational mind, heart, body, emotions, like this, to navigate from that. But
mm.
there's no logic. And sometimes we just know, okay, this is not aligned and this is, but I don't know why. I
Yeah.
need to follow this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we feel it. It feels
Yeah.
open rather than that kind of contraction.
Yeah.
And so I'd love to explore, because, as you shared, a lot of us really now don't know how it feels to be in the heart space. We've shut that space down from probably a young age. So, what are some gentle ways we can begin to trust our heart again, especially if we've been hurt before?
It can be as simple as just taking moments in your day and just placing your hands on your heart and connecting and just saying, okay, I see you, I love you, I honor you. And I think also in my own journey, the biggest invitation is because it's easy to be in this space of love when we're in meditation or when we're in nature or when we're just following our flow. But the biggest invitation is when we feel the fear, when we feel uncertain, when we feel like everything is a mess. Can we then witness ourselves with love? Can we then not judge and just say, okay, I feel you, I love you, it's okay? Because most of the time it's like a wounded inner child part. And you don't push away a child that is hurt. You say, okay, come, I will hold you. Come. And in that space, things quickly start to shift. But it's not resisting. It's also not focusing on healing. Because when we're pushing, because healing can also become a task where we feel like, okay, no, I like this pattern, now it needs to come out. But when a root is not ready, or
Mm,
maybe there's still something to learn, we can push, but then we're still like, it's almost, we're still resisting growth. We're still trying to control. So the biggest invitation is presence. Can
mm,
you be present in your life? Can you truly say, okay, I'm saying yes. And with everything that comes up, knowing that life is always guiding you, can you trust that? Because then when a triggered part comes up, and most of the time, I sometimes also have that. Most of the time, first the pattern comes. But the
mm,
invitation is to remind the pattern or the limitation or the fear more quickly. And then say, okay, I see you, I honor you, and I love you. That's it. Say to that part of yourself, I love you, and notice what shifts, because that's what I noticed in my life. The more I held this space of love, the deeper parts came up, but it also made me more resilient. It's almost we're building, reactivating this strong foundation within ourselves. And as we do that, even more of our wisdom can anchor here on earth because it needs to feel safe. I think the next layer in our evolution is really grounding. It's going into our earth star chakra, not the rising up. No, it's taking all that energy and really grounding in our 10th chakra, really grounding in the root of our being. It's almost like also a tree who has a deep rooted network. It can hold even more light instead of, so can we truly say, and I think the invitation is really embrace each moment. Enjoy the moments when you feel good, because you don't have to be on the healing side all of the time, but also really honor, like if you can truly see everything as sacred. I think that's the biggest invitation. Your
mm.
messy part, your anger, your joy, your all of that.
Yeah.
And when you feel that, just already this, it brings your nervous system to rest, all connecting with your heart, just witnessing your room when you feel overwhelmed, and just start naming things that you see. It can be as simple, but it's bringing your awareness back to the now. And when you're back to the now, you can say, okay, I love you. It can be as simple as that. But most of the time, that's the most difficult thing. because our mind starts to do all of these things. It starts to blame and to judge. No, I love you. And I know these parts are coming up, but still, I choose to love you. And notice what happens when you're truly present with yourself in the middle of the chaos. I love you. And notice what that does in your, yeah, that.
Well, I'm just on reflection, especially when you brought up emotions like, anger or sadness, and we haven't been taught really how to manage those emotions. And I know for me, and again, this links with the grounding, certainly growing up, if I had an uncomfortable emotion and I didn't know how to, uh, settle my nervous system, and I didn't have the caretakers that kind of knew how to help me with that. So I did feel like I was up here because I wasn't rooted and anchored in my body in order to be able to allow myself to release those emotions. And you touched on the whole inner safety. And we need to feel safe in order to express all of these emotions because that's what they're doing. They're coming up so that we can express them. And it doesn't mean necessarily, having a raging, it's recognizing that, oh, there's this anger here. And as you share, it's getting to the root. Well, what is the cause? Why am I feeling angry? And often that could be because a boundary has been overstepped. So maybe we can talk about that, as part of,
Yeah.
and you did bring it in through the very beginning about how, as we start following the heart, it naturally brings up these emotions that are ready to heal.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful question because it's truly honoring your emotions, your even the deep parts that come up. Sometimes we can feel, okay, I thought I've healed this. I
Mm,
thought I went through this, but now you're ready for a deepening layer and to just witness it as part of your growth, to see your braveness. Again, coming back to following the path of the heart is brave
yeah.
because it asks a lot of braveness to witness those. Sometimes we can feel like, okay, I'm stepping into this new space and suddenly all of these emotions come up. But it is because you're choosing to step out of your comfort zone. And the moment we start to notice that, we can suddenly be more compassionate with ourselves. Because I also know these patterns like, okay, why is this happening again? Why am I still going through this? And again, we're starting to bring our energy down. No,
Mm,
bring yourself first back to the now. I see you, I love you. And then start to notice, no, it's because I'm choosing to grow. It's because I'm choosing to step out of my comfort zone that they come up. It is because I'm choosing to bring even more love into my vessel. It's like a purification. You're harmonizing your field, and we can deny parts of ourselves for many years. We can push them away, but at one point they will keep knocking on our door louder until we're ready to listen. So still, and that's also fine. I've kept repeating patterns for many years. We can be compassionate with that. But if you truly want change, when an anger comes knocking on your door, or when you feel overwhelmed, or just the chaos is too much, just witness it with love. See what happens. See what shifts. Because most of the time our coping mechanism is as well, we leave, we disconnect, we see what happens when you stay. See what happens when you can say, okay, I see you and I'm no longer running away. I'm no longer afraid for your emotions. And even if that's being angry, create a safe space to let that anger out because it's life force energy. We are
mm,
denying a part of ourselves when we're not, even if you look at the sacred feminine and all of those energies, it's emotions. One moment we feel excited, and one moment we feel sad, one moment we feel uplifted, and one moment we feel anger. That is part of our human sacred vessel. It's not holding it all together. It's not, okay, now I need to be this,
mhm.
or now I can only be in this state. No, it's the fluidity that is our superpower. Can we truly allow each and every moment to touch us in a way it's meant to touch us and to let the energy move through us? Because then we can allow the divine to co-create through us. But that is also sometimes feeling all of the emotions. And that's the difficult part of this brave journey of following your heart. The moment
Yeah,
we start to do that, a lot of sometimes deep emotions come up. And can
yeah.
we then hold space with love? Yeah.
Well, I was going to jump in, sorry,
Yes,
and
that's
say
totally fine. Yes.
because we judge them, and so
Yeah.
as you're sharing, if we want everything to be, oh, I want this happy, lovely, joyful life, skipping through the fields, but that's not really, what reality is. But if we can just feel the emotions and without the judgment that comes with it, that I shouldn't be feeling that, then
Yeah.
actually we work through it much more, and we can then recognize that in every emotion there's also a gift.
Yes.
even in the tougher emotions. So how would you share then that, about life being our greatest teacher, and how the body, it'd be great to go in more about how the body communicates to us to
Mhm.
enable us to rise.
Yeah. I think it's important to know that our soul came here to experience.
Yeah.
And experience is all of our emotions. Experience is all that we are. Can we truly say yes to life? Because life is always guiding us. But most of the time, again, it's the mind that labels, okay, but this is not guidance, inconvenience or discomfort, or I feel fear. That's not guidance. Or, yeah, but can you still hold space? Because that's what I notice in my own journey as well. As I constantly come back to love and this centeredness in myself, when something comes on my path, I can feel, okay, this is something that is in alignment and this is something that is out of alignment, that is helping me to move forward. And I think that's the first thing. Come back to present, come back to and witness the sacredness in everything, because the sun rises every morning and that's just magic. Also us, we wake up every morning, that is magic. Can we truly, like, the processes that happen in our body, in our field, and when we come back to this sacredness, we start to see life even more as sacred. Can we see that as guide, like when beautiful things happen, that's amazing, but also when challenges happens, it's an invitation to come back to a deeper part in ourselves. So life
Mm.
truly is our greatest teacher, because you also notice when you're fully saying yes to life, you grow, the growth happens the most. Yes, we can have amazing beautiful epiphanies when we're in meditation, but the next moment, we're also in the grocery store, or we're with a friend, or maybe a family or a relative that is challenging us. How can we then bring that wisdom into that moment? And I think that's the greatest invitation. And that's also where the most growth happens. Yes, in meditations, magic can happen. But still, I think many of us can relate. Me,
Yeah.
myself as well. When I was in those situations and I thought, okay, yes, now I have the wisdom of the world and now I can move forward and I feel so happy. But then a week later, a deep, deep old part got activated. And how do you then handle? How do you then how can you then be compassionate with yourself? And I think that's the greatest invitation, because in the moment of the challenge is where the greatest growth happens, because then there is a deeper part, a deeper aspect of ourselves that finally feels safe enough. And that's where the shift happens, because we can keep denying these parts in our field, but they are still influencing the world around us. Again, if you look at the law of manifestation, what we send out, we receive. But there are a lot of things we're not even aware of from childhood, but also family lineages and all of that. It's honoring we in this time and space are healing not only for ourselves, but lineage is back and lineage is moving forward. We're doing so much powerful work we're not even aware
Don't
of.
even recognize, yeah, all
Yes,
the work that we are doing.
it
And I think
is.
that's the key. It's like great if we go to, do meditation, or we go to these beautiful sound baths and things like that, which
Yeah,
really support us. But
yeah,
actually, it's being able to use these skills in real life, because we're all different, we're all carrying our own stuff as well. We don't always know when someone else's stuff is going to end up in our space, and how do we respond to that? How do we manage that? Um, and also you mentioned about, you know, patterns showing up again repeatedly. And I think a really good reminder is, because often our mind will want to take us back and go, why is this here again? And I've failed. It must
yeah,
be a failure if it's here in my space again. But no, it's a reminder that there's just another layer that we couldn't see, previously, that's now showing itself, because now you're ready,
yeah.
got the love in your heart to be able to guide you through that and release that. So I think that leads me on to a nice question then about this subtle and profound transformation that we can experience, because like you shared, it's not always, clear as daylight. And even as you described, which I thought was beautiful, with the sun rising, every morning we are a new person. We're not the same person as we were yesterday. So how can we honor the step-by-step nature of growth and the unfolding, even when it appears to be very slow and unclear?
I think presence. I think presence is the most. Bring your awareness back to the now, because you'll notice as well as you're here now in this moment, you feel good, or maybe there are a lot of emotions that are stirring, and that's also fine. But really bring yourself back to the present moment and then honor whatever is there. Honor the sacredness of life. Come back to the subtle energies of your being and really give yourself a compliment
Mm.
because you're not running like and there's no judgment here, but a lot of us, and I also had these patterns, we can numb ourselves with maybe watching a lot of movies or even like alcohol or going to do more exciting things and all the adrenaline things that we can do. But no, you're choosing to be here. You being here in this space means you're on the path of the heart, means you're pioneering something new. And also, if you look at evolution in consciousness, we have embodied so much love that now, or so much light, that we're now being invited, okay, can you truly anchor? Can you truly hold your ground? Can you truly be present and allow even more of your wisdom to awaken? Because what you'll notice is that the guidance of the heart is very subtle. It's very silent. So can you hold space and really go within and listen and then follow the guidance? Because I think that's sometimes the most difficult part, to follow it, because then even more guidance. It's almost like a step-by-step plan. Like your soul life will guide you into your next level. But if you don't take the next step will also not reveal itself. And there is no timeline, there is no rush, but it's you having a choice. Do I want to keep repeating the patterns of the past, or am I really ready to pioneer something new, to say yes to this next level that is revealing itself in whatever way, in excitement, in joy, in anger, in a challenge. And through that, it opens up even more. It's almost like, okay. And what I noticed in my own journey is as well, as I started to embody more love, it really makes you more resilient. Now, when something comes up, I can shift it in seconds, where before maybe it took me a year to
Right.
let go of certain things. No, but you'll notice, okay, you'll come back to love quicker. And you'll notice that even in the chaos, you're able to hold your center, because you can't change life around you immediately, but you can change how you look at life. You can change how it comes in. You can change how you interact with it. And even really embracing also, it's not that I'm never being challenged. No, but I accept them with love. I say, yes, show me, because a deeper part of me is ready to rise. And the more, again, if I create space, if I truly allow this energy to open up with love, there is wisdom there. There is magic. There's a part of me that I pushed away that holds so much. And most of the time as well, like if you go back into past lifetimes, there are so many lifetimes where we had so much wisdom, but through everything that happened, we need to kept it safe, or we need to lock it down. And it's only through love. It's not when we go hard on the wall or we try to knock it down. No, it's only with love and compassion that it's safe enough to open up. Again, this foundation. So it's honoring, like following the path of your heart. It's constantly building your foundation stronger and stronger. And you will notice that life starts to move, yeah, more fluidly, more beautifully. And the energy and your, like everything starts to co-create together. And it's such a beautiful, yeah,
I think that's so
sacred path.
powerful what you've shared because, when we have had difficult situations and it's caused people to shut down their hearts,
Mm.
the what's the word I'm looking for? The paradox is we think it's keeping us safer. I need to protect my heart. And so then we, instantly go into the logical mind trying to figure out our path. But actually, as you shared, the more we open our hearts, that
Mm.
heart field is so powerful, that resonance. That is your field of and not protection, but being able to hold your space, and that is, that's your safety really, even though we feel that it's not, like, oh no, it's scary or it's not safe to open my heart. Actually, that is, the true safety really. And I was interested that you brought through as well, how we can tend to distract ourselves. And,
Mm.
we live in a very kind of techie world, these days.
Yes.
And so I'm curious, how, or is there a connection between the earth and our heart? And how do you see this in our multidimensional embodiment? And I just love because it's the same word, just in different, different letters.
Yes. I love that. Yes. Yes, there is especially a resonance, because for me, although, and you feel what resonates for you, but Mother Earth is awakening to a much deeper level of herself. And I always love to, well, most of the time when I feel something in my body gives me messages through physical things, or and then I notice, okay, Kim, it's time to come back. It's time to, okay, there's a deeper part that is ready. But most of the time when I look at like the Schumann resonance showing the frequencies of the earth, so like you literally see that Mother Earth is rising in her frequency.
Right.
But what that does in our own field, it's like it's almost okay if Mother Earth chooses to let her frequency rise, it activates deeper parts within ourselves. It's almost like she is also saying, okay, certain slower vibrational frequencies I'm no longer allowing, or I'm pushing them to the limit so that they open up. And that's really the deeper invitation. And again, sometimes when we see those charts, or we can be more compassionate with ourselves. Again, so it's again the same with if you look at your astrology chart and you know, okay, this next. It's interesting why we as humans do that. But let's say the next month, your astrology sign says, okay, it's going to be an intense month because a lot of old patterns come up. Suddenly, we can be more compassionate. But when somewhere in the rest of the year it happens, we're starting to judge or but
Hmm.
it's really coming back to the space. Okay, can you truly honor that you're constantly growing and that from all different dimensions, from the stars, from the earth, it's not only the growth in ourselves, there are so many energies around us that are inviting us to release the slower vibration. Again, in my book, I share like the air balloon. It's time to let go of those bags so we can rise higher. But the rising higher can only happen when we're grounded, when we're rooted, when we're connected to Mother Earth. And what I loved about what you shared, like even if you look in this in just energy work as well, there were so many things. Okay, you need to protect yourself, you need to set this field, you need to, but the invitation now is, okay, no, let your heart field, let the light from within become so strong that it's just this natural shield that just lets out everything. And when something comes in, it's not because the shield is wrong, or it's not because the light is wrong. No, there's just a deeper part of yourself that is ready to be witnessed. And
Mm.
I think that's also a shift in consciousness that is happening. No, it's not to keep everything out. It's not to put shields everywhere and to protect your heart. No, again, interact with life.
Let it
And
in.
yes, let it in because it's moving. Again, it's helping you to break this wall down and to activate and awaken even more of your wisdom.
Mm.
Live,
Mm.
experience, say yes to life, however painful, because I also know this journey, you're being invited to feel. And
Yeah.
that is sometimes the most, there's no bypass. And that's sometimes not the most difficult part. Yes, we can hold space together. Yes, things happen more quickly. But there are certain things you need to feel yourself that nobody else is able to quickly fix for you. No, they can hold space, but it's still you choosing to move through it. It's you choosing to reconnect to this part of yourself. Because in a way, it's like we're collecting now all these fragment parts that we've pushed away in this lifetime and many other lifetimes and dimensions. We're calling all of the parts of ourselves back home. And
Yeah.
that's where our power is.
Right.
It's already part of us, but we need to hold space and say, yes, I'm ready to receive you again. I'm ready to hold space again and to reconnect with you. And it's not something that is new. No, your soul knows, but it's our human that needs to be ready to receive and to feel and to, yeah.
And I feel that, in order to reconnect with ourselves and our hearts is also about reconnecting with the earth and
Yes,
nature.
it is.
Part of the disconnect is when, and as you shared, when we go and distract ourselves with other,
Yeah.
uh, let's say, man-made things,
Mhm.
we're creating that uh, gap, even more disconnect, the disconnect between ourselves,
Yeah.
us and ourselves and our true nature. So yeah, thank you for bringing that through. Really, really lovely. I think it's a good time to stop here and share this beautiful gift or special offer that you've brought for everyone today, which is the Love Empowerment Codes Journey. And it's not just an online experience, it really is like a sacred activation. So
Yeah.
would you love to share a little bit more about what that is, what it entails, and who it might be suitable for?
It's really a powerful journey that takes you, it's like a week of activation. So already when you say yes, because again, also in this conversation, so much more happens beyond the words. It's the love, it's the codes that are coming through, it's the it's your soul that already knows what it needs to receive. So there you have a powerful opening ceremony. There are 5 empowering codes that are really aligned to our evolution in this time that help you to move through certain patterns, to hold space with love so that things click into space more quickly. But again, it's you. What I always love to say is when you're going through these series, it's you creating conscious time with yourself,
Mhm.
with your higher self, with your team of light, with Mother Earth. And in that, things start to shift more quickly. You will feel the frequency, you will feel the vibration. And it's really a sacred week of you. Like there is a code that is going into self-love. There is a code that is going into more trust. There is a code that is going into more connection with other people, with abundance, with health. And it's taking out the layers. But again, it's you choosing it, but it helps you to take out the layers and to really reconnect to this deeper root to help you to build this foundation of love. And what I love about these codes as well, they keep deepening. So each time you re-listen, because you can re-listen whenever you feel guided, each time you re-listen, they help you to go into a deeper layer with yourself. So maybe you feel, okay, there is a disconnection with a friend. How can I come into a better space with connection? Because in the end, it's a mirror in our own field and how, yeah. So it's really a beautiful high vibrational frequency, but it also has the practical approach of, okay, how can this help me in my physical life and how can I move through things more quickly? So, yeah,
I love that. And I feel, it's so needed because really life is about relationships. The
it
first one
is.
obviously being with ourselves. And
Yeah.
so if these codes can help us navigate our life in different areas, then that's, a really powerful opportunity to step into that personal field of empowerment. Really lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's open the floor and see if anyone's got any questions about maybe what you've shared so far, and maybe they've got some questions about the course that you've just
Yeah.
invited them into. Um, and just to let you know that we're just recording our faces, so you won't be on camera on the recording. But you're welcome to unmute yourself, or if you want to type in the chat, or I think there's React at the bottom of the screen, so you can raise your hand that way as well.
Hi there.
Ah, Christian, hi, hi.
Hi. Um,
Welcome.
One thing that just occurred to me when we were talking about the earth and the heart is how it's an anagram of each
Yeah,
other.
that's what I
And
meant to say. I just
yeah,
didn't coherently
just
express
have
it.
to shift the H to the front of earth and your heart. And I thought that was lovely. And just everything you're saying is resonating with me as to what's been occurring in my life for the last year or so. And I read the Eckhart Tolle book. Oh, I can't remember what it's called now, but you will.
Power of now.
Yeah, The Power of Now. And that was an incredible book. Just sort of not thinking, oh, but this happened in the past, or what's happening in the future with fear, or is there going to be this happening, that, and just literally right into what's happening right this minute. What can I look at that makes me smile? So I
Mm.
just have loads of things around me. I love flamingos, so they're always just kind of hanging around my office. So it's just finding something that will elevate you, because I came from a very dark place about 10 years ago with my menopause, and it's been a very interesting journey. So everything you're I just for some reason forgot it was 3 o'clock, and then I saw it at 3:05, and I was like, I need to be on this call, because I always think it's so much more powerful when it's live.
Mm.
And I love this series you're doing, Victoria. I really,
Thank you.
and to have found you through that Hertfordshire Consciousness group. And it's just beautiful. Thank you, Kim. And what is your book called?
My new book is Rooted in Love. So,
Rooted in
yeah,
Love. I was just looking on Audible to see if I could find it, and I found lots of podcasts you do. So that's lovely
yes,
too.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's not on the, I think, no, it will be live on Amazon
Not,
worldwide.
yeah, not the book, but I
Yeah.
found a lot of
Yes.
podcasts you've done talking to other lovely souls. So,
Also one with Victoria as well. So she was a guest on my podcast. So
ah,
a beautiful conversation. Yes.
Too lovely. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you for that. And I love that you shared as well, because it's really coming back to this understanding in the now moment we're creating our future. And sometimes we are so focused in the past or in the future, and we lose again the connection with this sacred moment, with life that is teaching us, because then our mind is fixated on something there instead of, okay, what is life truly trying to tell me in this moment? So
And I love what unfolds when you do surrender fully
it is.
and
Yes,
just think, this is the way I'd like my business to go. Is that in alignment? And
yes,
then just literally sitting back and allow, and just the unexpected appears.
it is. Yeah.
I was on a flight yesterday and it was an hour delayed, and I got in at like 1 o'clock in the morning. But then I had two messages while I'd been up in the air of
I love
things
that.
that,
Yeah.
so I've just been off today to meet with someone, and it's just those sort of unexpected little
Yeah.
treats and glimmers in the day that excite you, and that's what's helped me and kept
Mm.
me in the right place, living in peace and now.
Yeah. I
Um,
love that.
and you really notice your friends who are like, "Oh, do you think there's going to be a World War III?" And I'm just like, just don't go there.
Yeah. No.
Just, look at that lovely rose. And can you hear that bird song? That's what we need to be thinking of every day. And yes, we have to do a bit of input ourselves, but I'm just really enjoying this call. Thank you.
I love
That's so
that.
important what you just shared, because of course, if we're all focused on, oh, what ifs, then actually collectively we are creating that to
Yeah.
Totally,
be the reality.
totally.
But if we focus on what we
Mm.
do want to be our reality, then there's power in that
And
vibration.
there's such power in the things that you wish for. I always say, be careful what you wish for,
Yeah.
because I was caught out with that quite badly in my youth, and you know, you've got to be really, really careful what you think you want
Be
as
Yeah.
opposed
specific.
to what you actually need. So anyway, yeah, it's
And
very
sometimes it also looks different than what I mind. I noticed in my own journey, also in my business, I had like moments where that and moments like this. But it was in the moment where it didn't went so well for the mind, I had the biggest growth. And my
Yeah.
soul really guided me through that challenging moment to awaken even more of my light, to go through the limiting beliefs I had around abundance and receiving. But my mind can think, no, I'm failing. And my soul is saying, yes, but you're doing so much good. And it's finally moving through these layers and witnessing those. But it's
yeah.
only through the experience that I get to see them and that I get to recognize them and that I get to. So it's really opening up. And yeah,
That
so I
kind of
love that.
hindsight is a great thing, isn't it? So when you're in the
Yes,
midst of it, as you were saying, you
yes,
you kind of think, "Oh no, this is all going wrong," but
yes,
actually, it's so right in
it is.
in the bigger picture.
It is. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
love
Well,
it.
one of
Thank
the
you.
things that I learned, a mentor shared with me, is you can't do it wrong. Everything that shows up in your reality is exactly how it's meant to be. It's just in how you navigate and respond to whatever comes into your awareness. And of course, the more we elevate our vibration, then less of those more unpleasant or not so fun experiences tend to,
Mm.
not be so prominent. And it's more about then you're on a higher path.
And
Mhm.
you're quite often being protected from something you can't foresee. That's the other fascinating thing. Yeah. So
Mm.
anyway, loving it.
Thank you so
Let
much.
someone else speak.
Any other questions or comments or reflections?
Hi, this is Rosanna.
Rosanna.
Hi. I
Hello.
just wanted to say thank you for creating this space for us. It
Thank you.
has I've resonated with everything you've said, and I really have moved into a deeper heart space and in a place of listening. I used to be really good at it in my younger years. I would hear it and off I'd go. And it was always the heart. But anyway, um, excellent call. Thank you so much.
Oh,
You
thank you for
really.
being
Oh,
here.
and just a short little comment about what you guys were just talking about. It's like I've gotten to the place where all is in divine order. You know, I'm not going to wig out about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't know the bigger picture necessarily, and so I just kind of let it be, and it's much easier to live that way.
I
So
love
thank you both.
Thank you. But that is braveness, being because we're so being taught to live in, okay, this it needs to look like this or all the yeah.
Mm,
So that it's really braveness. And but it is easy the moment we go into that space and we can really, so I honor you for that, both of you
thank you.
for yes, thank you.
Yeah, the courage without the control,
It
right?
is. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Rosanna.
you.
Anyone else? Or if
Oh, and sorry, I just wanted to say that courage is from heart. It's
Yes.
cœur, French.
oh,
Oh, I
thank
love
you.
that.
That's another little titty, interesting connection.
Merci. Kim, would you like to share a little process for everyone? Would you like to guide them through?
It's always good. I think it's always we receive so much information here. Let's see. Oh, yes. I don't know if Charlie still has a
Just before Charlie's popped up his hand. Do you want to unmute yourself, Charlie?
Thank you.
There we go.
To this, as you know, Victoria. Kim, fantastic. I do love the direction that you've taken me this past 45 minutes or so. I'm always out there for doing things. If I feel like I need to change something, I go out and do. If perhaps even in business, I pick up the phone or drop somebody a message or find out which direction is going to be different from the path I'm taking now. So a call like this is really good validation that it's good to go out and do as long as you're listening to your heart and not just your head. So thank you for that. I'm still learning, but thanks, Victoria. I'll share this call if you give me the opportunity. And Kim, book Go For It Girl. I'll check it out. And if I can get hold of a copy of the book, I will. Thanks, ladies. It's really lovely to be with you today.
Thank you so much. Yes, and I love what you shared. It's saying yes to the experience, and life will guide us in beautiful ways. So I honor you for doing that. Yeah.
Thank you. That's why I'm here. You're guiding me. Yeah, take me there, girls. I'm there. I'm with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Charlie.
You're welcome.
All right, Kim.
Yes, I always love because we have received a lot of information. So I always love to just take a moment. I invite everyone, if you're not driving or doing anything that needs your attention, but to just for a moment close your eyes and just place your hands on your heart and just allow yourself to center into your body, feeling how your breath is moving your chest. And to just for a moment be present. There's nothing you have to change. This is already a gift to yourself, giving your body a moment of connection, your being a moment to be present. And as you're connecting to your heart, feel how the light in your heart becomes stronger. It's almost by bringing your awareness to your heart space. It gets excited and it starts to expand. It starts to glow. It starts to light up. And that is what our present does. It awakens something more deeper within ourselves. So just feel how the love is expanding within you. Taking a moment to honor your cells, your body, to honor your organs for supporting you every day. To really taking a moment to honor your beautiful vessel. To honor yourself for being present here on earth in this time and space. To honor your braveness. And just allow the light in a natural flow. Your higher self is already guiding you in a beautiful way to expand. And feel how it expands into your whole body. And then out into your fields. Allowing it to ground and center and connect to Mother Earth. To the beautiful crystalline core. And just for a moment, allowing this heart-to-heart connection to strengthen. And just letting the love codes to support you in a beautiful way, knowing that your soul and your higher self will receive out of these codes whatever is needed in this time and space. Tumare saveda meta, tumare suma veduma, tumare samevade si, namevade si. And as you're holding space with love, feel how you're calling even more of yourself back home. Your light is like a magnet for the deeper parts within yourself, ready to return. The deeper truth, the deeper wisdom. Feel how you're this centered house, this sacred home that is ready to receive the different aspects of yourself. How you are this lighthouse in this now moment, signaling all these different aspects of yourself to return home. Tu save sametade, chumade sametu, nave dumade save, chumade vadesu. And the only thing you have to do is to keep your heart open. So feel the love flowing through you, knowing that you do not have to hold it all alone. Feeling how Mother Earth is supporting you with her loving energy from below, and how Father Sky from above is showering you with love codes. And the stronger this rooted connection, the stronger your lighthouse becomes, sending out even more powerful signals of love for the parts of you that are ready to return home. So just for a moment, feel in silence whatever part is ready to be seen, to be witnessed, to be loved, holding space. Just for a moment. And just notice the subtle energy shifting in your body, in your field. Maybe there's a certain part of your body asking more attention. Maybe there's a certain thought coming up. Know that life is guiding you now in a beautiful way as you're calling more of the parts of yourself home. What is the guidance of your heart in this now moment? What is it sharing? What is it inviting you to feel, to reconnect with? And just be present. There's nothing you have to do, no hard work. Just allow your presence, allow love to do its magic. And whatever guidance you're receiving, honor that. Take it with you as you're moving through your day. Whatever it is inviting you, whatever it is asking you to feel, create space. And feel yourself anchoring this deeper guidance as you're placing or reconnecting consciously your hands on your heart. It's like, okay, this physical anchor, I choose to honor the guidance of my heart that I'm receiving now. And I'm anchoring it. I'm choosing to be present with it. Not only allowing it to be energy, but also through the physical touching of your heart, allowing it to become tangible, allowing it to become felt, to be present, to be rooted. And just take a couple of deep breaths to bring your energy fully back, as even more of this guidance is anchoring within you. Feeling your feet connected to Mother Earth, allowing yourself to ground yourself back into your body, into this space. One more time, honoring your braveness of being on this journey of empowering love. Honoring your deeper yes beyond the known. Honoring your body, your sacred vessel. And then in your own way, maybe moving your hands or your toes, maybe giving yourself a beautiful hug to bring yourself back into this now moment. And to whenever you're ready to open your eyes again. So take your time. It's really honoring this space, but I want to invite you to maybe write down the guidance of your heart and to really also in that way honor whatever the guidance was, honor whatever want to be felt, want to be seen. And yeah, I truly honor you for being here because this journey of the heart is one of braveness and I know it oh so well, but it's so empowering on so many ways. So thank you.
Just going to drop the link to your special offer in the chat. And Kim, that was so beautiful. I loved your singing through the codes as well. It felt like a mother, just singing a lullaby and soothing the soul. So that was my experience. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think the invitation now is like, it's really coming back to, we are not becoming someone new. We're returning to our truest self, and it's holding space for, yes. So thank you.
So before we come to a close, I'd just like to invite you to share a little bit more. One, I would love to know, what might our world look like when a whole community really starts living rooted in love?
So many shifts happen because in that space, everyone takes responsibility for what they feel. So we no longer react from triggers, or we no longer respond from triggers. We're choosing to see life through the lens of love. But also when we start to love ourselves more, we also honor Mother Earth more. We honor our time more. So in so many ways, like it's better for nature, it's better for our communication, for our connections, it's better for like also healthcare, because that's when I notice when I truly honor myself, I am more healthy. When I'm truly connected to Mother Earth, she also helps me to be even more healthy, more resilient, more. And in that space, I can also be with others more. And it's really like this spiral up, because it's just so, yeah. So my invitation would be just look at everything that happens through the lens of love and the sacredness of what life is. And when we're truly willing to go within instead of react, instead of putting it out there, go within and see what shifts, then the whole world suddenly looks different. And suddenly things, even though maybe the world around us doesn't change, things start to shift. Like that's what I noticed there were certain situations I couldn't change, but it was me choosing to change within myself that I could see the situation totally different. And when we do that, that's like it's planting seeds of love. Because when someone maybe responds from a trigger, but we can hold space and we can allow the other to move through their healing instead of pushing even more on them, that creates so much ripple. And it's seeing that is how we also contribute to the collective field. So instead of putting fear in that field, we're choosing love, we're choosing presence. And that truly, powerful ways, I think, beyond what we can even understand in our human perspective, changes so much. So choose love, choose. And it also sometimes means allowing our emotions to move, but still, that is loving as well. Don't deny yourself, honor. Thank you for that beautiful question and for this beautiful space of sharing. Thank you.
Wow, and I love that you brought through how it changes our health, because the more we show ourselves love and nurture and care for us, like a growing plant, then it's always healthy and blossoming and blooming. So I think that's really a key message going forward as well. And so for everyone here and for everyone catching the replay, if you were to offer a message from the wisdom of your heart, Kim, especially for those looking to live more rooted in love, what would you share?
Stay present. Just place your hands on your heart when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel triggered. Instead of immediately responding, stay present. Just say, okay, I love you, I see you. Even placing your hands on your heart as an act of love. If you can't already speak, I love you, because sometimes I know that can already be a very big step. Just place your hands on your heart. That's already you bringing your energy back, you connecting to your body, you bringing your nervous system to rest. Okay, I see you, I love you. This is already an act of sacredness. So that's my invitation. Just move through life and honor this sacred vessel, honor you, honor all of you, and really see what a gift you are. Because I think that's the biggest, we came here to be ourselves, our truest selves. That is your greatest gift. That is your greatest superpower. Go within. This is your best friend. Honor this beautiful sacred friend. And then everything else ripples out in that way. But it starts here. Everything starts here. So love, compassion. Yeah.
And just as you shared, I got an image of, we're all giving each other gifts just by showing up in that.
It is. Yes,
way.
I love that. Yes, it is. Yeah.
That is the present, right? The presence.
Yes, yes, our presence is the present. It truly is. I love this. Yes, it is. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Kim, thank you so much for sharing your heart and for this heart opening and really soul nourishing conversation.
Yeah, thank you. It's always a gift to share space with you. So thank you for creating this, and everyone tuning in live and through the replay as well. Thank you for being here. Yeah.
Beautiful. And so as we each take our own steps, big or small, toward living a more rooted journey in love, then your presence reminds us that it's not only possible, but really profoundly transformative. So thank you for being here. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And let this be a reminder that, whilst following our heart may not feel easy, it really is simple. And just moment by moment, we can invite in more of our presence and our willingness to really trust ourselves again. And I think you'll agree that Kim beautifully affirmed that our greatest strength comes from being rooted in love, even when life feels uncertain. So as we close today's heart to heart, I invite you to just take a breath and notice, what is your heart whispering to you now? And whatever it is, may that be your next step on your multi-dimensional journey. So as always, from my heart to yours, thank you for being here. And until next time, bye for now. Thank you for joining this heart-to-heart conversation. As we awaken to freedom and remember our true nature, we restore harmony between humanity and Mother Earth. This is a space for conscious creators, for those here to reclaim their power, presence, and divine potential. I'm Victoria Hart, and from my heart to yours, I honour your light and your unfolding path. To explore more, visit theconsciouscreationcoach.com.